Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Concert Recollections from an Aging Rock Fan, or What I Can Remember from the Good Old Days after finding a box of my old tour programmes from the 1970s and 1980s up in the loft. Why not subscribe to the channel for future episodes, but in this one, episode 7, Def Leppard, alright? Now, back in the mid-late 70s when Def Leppard formed in Sheffield, that's where I lived at the time as a youngster, they were very much the emerging local heroes tipped for very big things. I saw them quite a few times back then in very small local venues, and they were great. They got some real energy. They rocked hard. They were enthusiastic and brash. Good stuff, right? One year, I think it was 1979, or it might have been a year either way, um, Def Leppard played an outdoor set in Hillsborough Park in Sheffield at the annual Sheffield show. You know how these things work, right? I think it was 1979. And I can remember going to Hillsborough Park to watch them play outside with my small, crude cassette recorder hidden in my denim jacket in a rather crude attempt to record the set. Needless to say, that didn't turn out too well. Very poor, patchy, muddled recording, but never mind, I tried. Later that year, I'm pretty sure it was 1979 still, there was support to Sammy Hagar on his UK tour. Myself and a bunch of friends went over to Manchester on the train to see Sammy. Well, rather not to see Sammy. We went over just because Def Leppard was support and went to see Leppard, but left after their set to catch the train back to Yorkshire because they stopped running, and there wouldn't have been enough time to stay and watch Sammy and get home before the last train anyway. I went to see them once more, Sheffield Top Rank, I think it was 1980, which was around the time that their debut album was released. There's the cover there, the cover art. And that concert and that album indeed was the beginning of the end for me with Def Leppard. I thought, well, this isn't Def Leppard anymore. They'd become far too slick. I thought the album was vastly overproduced and it sucked all the power out of them. To give them yet another chance, I went to see them on the High and Dry tour in 1981, I think that was, and that really was enough. Didn't like it at all. Their ongoing success, of course, cannot be denied, though that all that slick Americanized style which they'd started to develop after that, well, with and after that debut album, just wasn't for me at all. And that was it. Well, almost. I would reluctantly go and see him again some decades later, 1992, at Sheffield Arena. My girlfriend at the time was a bit of a Def Leppard fan and wanted to go and see him. I wasn't keen, though, being a considerate kind of chap. I bit the bullet, took her along, and took one for the team. But that really was it for me for Def Leppard, as it was with her not too long after that, but never mind. So that's it for me. Def Leppard, great to begin with. First album, no good for me, and subsequently. But say they've gone on to stratospheric success, haven't they, and continue to do so. Stadium tours all over the place and whatnot. But I wonder, where do you stand with Def Leppard? Are you like me and think they were much, much better until On Through the Night, or do you prefer the later, more slick, polished stuff? Let me know in the comments if whatever your opinion is. But that's the end of it for me. Def Leppard, no thanks. Next episode coming up will be episode 8, and that'll be about a guitarist who I think is one of the finest of his generation. But we'll leave that for a surprise for episode 8. If you'd like to stick around for that, please do subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. And until episode 8, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and take care.